Alright, so I just saw a movie called The Woman King. Let's just get to it. So it starts off with the scene where these guys are sitting around this campfire, right? All of a sudden, these women pop up out the bushes, straight warriors, led by Nanicsa. And they basically start murking these niggas, getting them done. But why are they attacking them, per se? Because apparently they had prisoners hiding in one of the bunks. Now, we found out the people they killed are with the Oyo tribe. Them niggas is a problem. So afterwards, they take the prisoners, they basically go back to the village. Now, a lot of the prisoners are women. So what they're going to do with these women, they're going to give them the opportunity to be warriors. Now, one person looking on in the crowd is a lady by the name of Nawi. Now, Nawi's apparently supposed to be getting married to somebody. We don't even know what the guy is, but bottom line is he's rich. But Nawi's not trying to marry some random dude. Then on top of that, he berates her, smacks her in her face because she didn't respond to him, and then she ends up pushing him on the ground. So it gets to a point where her father gives up. He been trying to marry her a lot, whatever. A lot of suitors, and bottom line is she ain't going for it. So basically, he gives up his daughters as an offering to the king. So basically, at this point, she's just going to join the tribe of warriors. One of the warriors is Izil. Basically, she's going to teach her everything she needs to know. Now, while all this is happening, the Oyo warriors come through to the campsite, find niggas dead, so you know that's a problem. This dude by the name of Oba is like the general and the captain of them. So now Nasuke and a couple of appointed generals are with King, we don't call him King G, and his wife Shantae. Now it goes like this. Around this time, people have been trading a lot of people like with slave trades and whatnot. But they've been using people to basically get rations, weapons, food, stuff like that. Now the land they run is called Dahomey. Now the Oyo tribe is a fierce warrior race, but the thing is, they got connections with other tribes too. So, you know, them niggas is deep. And they got better weapons, so they can always keep their foot on Dahomey, making sure they don't be playing around. So now Nasuka offers a suggestion. She's tired of people being sold or whatever like that. She says she's got the whereabouts to like gold and palm oil. So the king basically thinks this over. But they gotta make sure they have enough palm oil and stuff like that to be able to start with. The thing about the Oyo tribe, trading away slaves is what got them to be prosperous as they are. They trade with like Europeans and Americans and whatnot. So while now he's learning all this stuff from Izzo, they got these trials, they got all these little tribulations to try to make her tough or whatever like that. But every now and then, she's kind of rebellious. That's just the kind of spirit that she has, you know what I'm saying? So now he's getting stronger and all that, and she develops this real close, thing to Izzo. Her and Nanicsa are not really always on the same page, honestly, but, you know, they see the potential there. So while they having this little small celebration and whatnot, all of a sudden the Oyo tribe shows up. We like, oh shit. Now Oba is there basically to talk to the king. Now in this situation, they're about to make a trade for 40 of their best warriors. The king says, I'll give you 20, but we get to pick and choose. So while all this is going on, these two European guys named Malik and Sanzo, they end up approaching the island. Now Sanzo's there is because like he's like really important when it comes to the slave trade stuff. In fact, he's the one that like does the carrying, making sure everything goes right. Malik is not really a part of that, but because they're so close, he always goes everywhere with them. Now there's a reason, another big reason why he's there, but I'll tell you that later. So basically, Nanicsa is bringing the 20 people, warriors or whatever like that, to come confront him to make sure that, you know, to get the warriors. But we gotta know something's up because the moment he gets his hands on these warriors, all he's gonna do is either trade them away, use them as slaves, whatever they're gonna do in their possession. It just so happened now we happened to be one of the 20. But instead of giving them to Oba, it turns into an ambush. They start murking niggas, and then you see Nanicsa one-on-one with Oba. Now, everybody else was running away to get back to the boats. Now we saw this gate open with all these soldiers is about to come out. So basically, she goes over there and closes off the gate. Because if that gate would have opened, Nanicsa would have been fucked up. So she's fighting Oba for a good little minute, but bottom line is she has to end up escaping. Everybody gets back to the boat, and bottom line is now it's real beef between the Dahomey and Oyo tribe. So we know once they get back to the spot, they really got prepared for beef. So Sanzo at this point was trying to settle the slave trade or whatever like that to Oba and everything like that. Malik seemed frustrated with all this shit. Afterwards, both of them go to speak to the king of Dahomey, and Sanzo's basically letting them know the situation. But the thing is, the Oyo tribe is tired of trading. Now they're about to try to finish off the Dahomey clan once and for all. Alright, so Malik's story is this. His whole purpose of coming back to the Dahomey tribe is because that his mom used to live there. But she passed away a while ago, and after he buried her, she basically told her to go back to her homeland. And they was trying to figure out how was he from there, because bottom line is, their father was white, and their mom's black, and that's how he became light-skinned. Or however the situation went. So there's this one scene where now he's walking around in the forest, and she ends up running into Malik, who was taking a shower or whatever like that in the lakes. They have a little conversation, and he ends up giving her one of his pendants that he has around his neck. So they got a little bit of a connection. The problem is, the tribe that she is an all-women's tribe. They don't trust men for none of that shit. Now, they do have men in the village, but as far as the fighters, most of them are women. But basically, they don't trust anybody outside their village, which makes sense. But Nanicsa really doesn't trust people. So Nanicsa has been having these dreams about being locked in a cage and stuff. And she always goes to Shishi for like advice. So we get to this scene where now we pass this final test and all the fighters are doing this like exhibition course or whatever. So now he's finally happy. She feels like she's really accepted. She's talking to Izzo, and then all of a sudden Nanicsa comes up. And we found out that Nawi was actually an orphan. And the parents she was raised by were not her biological dad and mom. And after the trial, she had all these scars and marks on her, whatever like that, but didn't notice the mark that was on her shoulder. And this kind of freaked out Nanicsa. So we think ourselves, what is she so freaked out about? Now he ends up meeting with Malik later on, even though she's not supposed to. She gives him this sacred ring, and he gives her a sword or dagger or whatever. So when she comes back to the campsite, Izzo already knew the situation. She tells her, don't give nobody your power, trust yourself. Then she was going to see Nanicsa, who basically kind of knew the situation too, and then was wondering like, oh, where'd that dagger come from? Like, come on. So then we find out why Nanicsa was so freaked out. Turns out she was actually caught by the Oyo tribe before, like years ago. And then on top of that, she was sexually violated. And the person who did it was Oba. So I guess months later, she found a way to escape, but she was about to have a baby at the time, and she ends up having a baby. But she knew eventually she would have had to give away the baby. So what she did, she cut a piece of the baby's shoulder and put a shark tooth in it and sealed it up. So after she was telling Nawi all this, we keep looking at the spot on her shoulder. She lets her cut it out, there's a shark tooth there. Yeah, indicating that Nawi is her daughter. Shit's wild, man. So in between this, realizing the Oyo tribe is kind of strong, they're going to deplete some of their forces. Now, one of the training exercises, they end up cutting off heads of like these scarecrows that they hang up or whatever like that. So one particular scene, Nawi and the girls were playing around, so when they cut the heads off, it looked like it exploded. Basically, Nawi found a way for them to use gunpowder without having to use a gun. So this gave Nanicsa an idea. So they go to this spot where the Oyo tribe is at, they use like gunpowder, and they like light some stuff on fire, and they found a way to just burn the villages down. Now, basically, the whole squad's already out there, they ready for beef. It was a hell of a battle. They ended up killing a lot of the Oyo dudes and they had to end up retreating. But in the process of that battle, some of them got some prisoners. Who the Oyo tribe ended up kidnapping? A couple of the ladies, Izzo and Nawi. Now, Izzo had somehow broken her arm during the battle, so she kind of felt like giving up. But Nawi was like, nah, fuck that. We ain't giving up for nothing. We fight to the death. Now, she was the one giving motivational speeches, you know what I'm saying? So she ends up popping her arm back in place, and now they ready. So before Nanicsa found out about the situation, the king was about to appoint her the woman king, you know what I'm saying? Now, obviously, in this situation, she's thinking to herself, she needs to find Nawi. But she can't do anything that would disobey the king's orders, right? So now we know the situation. Pretty much Nawi, Izzo, and everybody else that's been captured, you know what they're going to do. They're going to try to sell them off in a slave trade. So they're thinking to themselves, the moment they take the shackles off, it's going to be their time to escape. So next day, it's time for the auction. The shackles are off, and then that's when they try to make their exit before Malik comes out of nowhere. They start whipping everybody's ass, but now he ends up getting caught by two people. Izzo sees it and tries to come back. But then she gets shot 3 or 4 times. Izzo done deal dead as shit. I'm like, damn. Nawi was so heartbroken, she didn't even try to escape at that point. She was just holding Izzo. Malik ends up buying her for like 100 pesos. But obviously he bought her because he didn't want her to get killed. So basically he's been protecting her. Now back to Nanicsa, however, she's basically going to disobey the king's orders. She's going to go to sneak in and try to get her daughter back. But a couple of her warrior friends follow her into the hunt. So Malik is keeping Nawi tucked in the room, you know what I'm saying, making sure everything's good, trying to protect her and all that other stuff, right? But the connection's real close, and they end up doing the do. I mean, she's still traumatized by Izzo, but she is happy that Malik is there. Now, Nanicsa sneaks up on the guards, laying the smack down. The girls in the cage inform her that Izzo is dead and Nawi's gone. So then Nanicsa is like, yo, fuck this. Take no prisoners. We burn this place to the ground. So they thought all the guards were asleep. Apparently, some of them were still up, so they started shooting, and now it's time for war again. And then we get another one-on-one beef with Oba. Oba put up a hell of a fight, but bottom line is he got done dealed. Nanicsa finished this goofy ass off. I mean, he ain't goofy, but still. And then right before Nanicsa was about to get shot by somebody, now he comes out of nowhere and starts handling niggas, giving them the business. So Malik had left at this point because he was trying to get a boat prepared. So while the fire and all that stuff was going, Zanzo was still trying to save a couple of slaves and kill them on his boat so he could, you know what I'm saying, have some more money to trade off or whatever. But behind Zanzo's back, Malik ends up freeing the slaves, and the slaves end up beating the shit out of Zanzo, getting him done deal dead as shit. While that's going down, he sees the tribe going back to the spot. Nani turns around to look at him, smiles, and then she goes back with her mom. They basically return back to the homie. Nanicsa is ready to give up her position because she basically disobeyed the king. But the king then gives a speech about the Oyo tribe pretty much being defeated. And without their potential guys, they ain't going to seem as important. But because Nanicsa then was able to take him down, bottom line is, he still appoints her as the woman king. Shantae, his wife, hating this shit, but she can't do nothing about it. She don't be fighting, she don't be doing none of that shit. What are you doing? Why you hating? So basically, Nanicsa gets some one-on-one time with her daughter. Now he's pouring out water for the loss of the dead. Then they all get together for a celebration and start dancing. Last scene we see is Nanicsa and Nawi in a proper uniform. The uniform of her people and the warriors. Looking over the lands and whatnot. Now I heard long ago this was a true story. I'm pretty sure it was, honestly. This movie was pretty good. It had a lot of action. But the bottom line, it was really about slave trading for real. Trading people away for villages to live, you know what I'm saying? But our people was really trying to be tired of being a part of that culture. That's why she brought up like gold and palm oil. Anyway, it was pretty epic. I give it 2 thumbs up. The Woman King on Netflix. Check it out.